Welcome to a new episode of Sports Pause. I'm Jack Main. To my left, Stitch Gauge Kilborn. We have a packed show for you this Monday evening. Let's get right into it with men's basketball. The Canisius Golden Griffs had a long layoff to COVID-19 protocols and jumped into the action against these struggling Bobcats. What went down over Thanksgiving break that led to Quinnipiac men's ice hockey being number 4 in the country. Sports Pause starts right now. Thank you, gentlemen. High expectations indeed for that women's basketball team who traveled down to West Point to take on Army. Quinnipiac would have a successful trip down the Hudson River as they defeated Army 75-56. You see the Bobcats shooting very well from the field, almost 50%, 47.6. They're out rebounding everybody. That's got to do with the MAC Player of the Year, Mackenzie Deweese. 15 steals. Also, I have a ickling that has to do with Deweese, and then also limiting the turnovers as well. Quinnipiac looking to live up to that number 1 overall ranking ESPN gave them. Students in the College of Arts and Science traveled around the state of Connecticut to help spread information about the COVID vaccine. The students spent time handing out flyers, but didn't draw much interest from the target audience. The polls closed yesterday for the Quinnipiac class of 2025. Jacob Kretter was elected president, Aiden Truckenbrod was named vice president, and the senator positions will be filled by Sean Formontes, Ryan Hangerman, Carly Monsell, Thomas Peters, and Jamison Seltzer. The new multicultural and identity senators were also appointed yesterday. Owenna Roberts and Jack Weinstein will take office next to current multicultural and identity officer Jeremy Gustafson. Q30's own Eric Kerr spoke to Carly Monsell about the elections. March 1st, 2020 was the last time that anyone was able to witness a dunk like that happen right here at the People's United Center. Now today, November 12th, 2021, marks a new chapter in Quinnipiac men's basketball, welcoming fans back to the People's United Center. We are in the students section of the Lunder Court, where students can watch Quinnipiac men's and women's basketball free of charge.
And this is where the Hampton natives sit,
the heart and soul of Bobcat Nation. And this is where Troy Williams sits, the father of Quinnipiac senior guard Tyrese Williams.
Troy's been coming to games for the last 4 years to cheer on his son Tyrese and the rest of his teammates.
Now, despite the hardships these past calendar year, things are going to be looking up. Quinnipiac just announced that in-person commencement will take place for the class of 2021. That means families coming back to Hamden and business looking a little bit more like normal at Onchies. Quinnipiac University's 990s was recently released to the public, and one thing that's shocking a lot of people is how much money the university is dumping in to their basketball programs, despite the lack of national recognition and on-court success. Quinnipiac and Brown from the People's United Center is something we hear a lot of, but not often from the Lunder Court. These two teams meeting up for the 10th time all time. Brown leading the series 8-1 heading into today's Sunday matinee. We'll take you into the first half here. This is Kimo Ferrari right in front of Baker Dunleavy. Bang! He gets it to go down. Baker's incensed. And then take a look at the nice roll for Keno Lilly Jr. Brown goes into the locker room up in a close game, but the Bobcats would start to close out. An 11-2 run to open up the second half, aided by a Jacob Rigoni three-pointer. And then take a look at this move by Tyrese Williams. Hopscotch, finger roll, goes down, hits the deck, doesn't matter. But things start to go epically south for the Bobcats. They would turn the ball over right here, and then take a look at the pretty alley-oop right here. That is Jalen Gainey getting it to go down. The Bobcats would start jacking up threes in a desperation attempt to get back in. It would be unsuccessful, and Brown closes out 72-61, their 5th straight over the Bobcats. Well, the first thing that we can point to, Ross, is the three-point shooting. 22% from deep today, completely unacceptable for what was once one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country. Matt Belong, best player on the court today. He dropped another 20-burger for this team. Kevin Marfel pulled down 20 boards, a season high for him. But Jacob Rigoni with just 5 points and the lowest plus-minus rating on the team today. I don't really think that this win is going to mean a whole lot for this team moving forward because of what you mentioned. This is a D3 program. There's an obvious
obvious advantage for Quinnipiac coming into this game. They showed it, especially behind the arc tonight, shooting over 44% from deep. That's something that we haven't seen since Rich Kelly was running point here for the Bobcats. Great to see them doing that on that end of the floor.
But let's talk about both of the games thus far. Who have been your standouts thus far?
Well, I'd be remiss not to mention Matt Ballon. I mean, the senior guard is absolutely going off. We saw what he did against Maryland on Tuesday night. We don't need to talk anymore about that. But tonight, showing up both ends of the floor, dropped another 17 bomb to lead the team in scoring. This guy is looking like he's going to be a candidate for MAC Player of the Year.
I can tell you right now who is not. Desi Jones. I mean, number 11 just is not balling out right now. He cut Rich Kelly's number in half, and he is playing like less than half the man that Rich Kelly was. Look, he just needs some time to get himself under. You know what, Bernie Blunt, screw it, man. Put a first year in there. Give him to the conference. They got no tape on him. There's no reason why he will not go off like he did against me. Connor, plain and simple, give those kids an A+. Taylor House leading this team to a top 5 team in the nation, playing way above almost anybody's expectations. We finally get that Cass Turner defense that she said has been so amazing for my 4 years in Quinnipiac. That's finally starting to show through, and you got to credit some amazing upsets. 4-0 over Colgate, a pair of ties against Providence, and they beat Yale twice, which is really tough to do in ECAC hockey. Now, let me get you set for the rest of the week, because as I teased earlier, we're looking at sweater weather coming sooner than we might realize, although it has been a little bit. Farmer's Almanac does call for a summerly October, maybe even a little bit in November, but here's what I got for you guys. 74 today, 74 again tomorrow, but then you see the temperatures begin to drop. 59 degrees on Saturday, Fall Fest, mind you, 60 degrees on Sunday, and then we're down into the 50s with the lows heading into the 40s. Everyone go to your parents' house, unpack everything that you have that requires anything to go skiing, because you're going to need it sooner than later. Back to you guys at the desk.